self-care is not selfish. It's actually the biggest part of showing love that you could offer to your family, your friends, and your community.
As women, we nurture and take care of the world. And so it's just so important to make your health, your self-care numero uno. So
get around people who are going where you want to go and who are where you want to be. And that's exactly what I did. I wanted to be in real estate, so I got around people who were doing things in real estate that I wanted to do.
So you might not be able to move things around or change what happened to you, but if you can change the way that you see it and how you're reacting to it, there's a way.
Just do what you have to do. There's no excuse. This morning, I knew that if I didn't get up at 4 in the morning and clear out my emails and do everything that I needed to do.
You don't want the government to dictate or a judge to dictate how your hard-earned sacrifice and wealth gets distributed to your family and your loved ones.
Our culture is embedded in American culture. There are people who come to America and engage in American culture, which is Black culture. So Juneteenth is really about Black culture, and it's about celebrating us, celebrating the different diasporas of Black people, even the dialects.
Good afternoon, family. Welcome to today's Lunch and Learn. My name is Kimberly Fennell. I am one of the board members of Juneteenth NYC and a founder of Biz Savvy Artists. I am excited to be with you today, and we have an amazing program lined up for you. So I'm excited to welcome you today to a space where courage meets calling and where healing is no longer whispered but spoken out loud. Today, we are stepping into a powerful conversation about faith, resilience, and transformation. The kind that happens when we give ourselves permission to tell the truth, own our stories, and grow beyond what has tried to break us. This conversation is guided by 3 remarkable women whose lives reflect faith in action and healing with purpose. We are joined by Ms. Taisha Madam Butterfly Eason, a leadership developer, wellness advocate, and transformational speaker who empowers others to embrace their God-given potential. Through faith, leadership, and wellness, Taisha reminds us that growth is a journey and transformation is possible when we choose to rise. We're also honored to welcome Bernadette B. His Child Starkey, a woman of faith, a survivor, and leader whose testimony speaks resilience, restoration, and hope. Through her work in ministry, healthcare, and authorship, Bernadette shows us that healing can begin even after life's hardest battles. Joining us as well is Michelle Mack McFarland, a speaker, author, and intercessor who bridges faith with everyday life. Whether through writing, speaking, or leadership, Michelle inspires clarity, courage, and authenticity, reminding us that impact starts at home and flows outward. Together, these women represent what it truly means to have the audacity to heal out loud, to walk in purpose, speak truth, and create change through faith and courage. This is more than a discussion. It's a declaration, a calling, and an invitation to heal. Please join me in welcoming our incredible contributors from Audacity. Welcome, ladies. We're so excited to have you join us today.
Hello.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Awesome. So let's start by each one of you sharing a little bit more about your background and share a little bit of your story and what contributed to you being a part of the Audacity anthology.
Okay, cool. I'll go first. As was stated so eloquently, I mean, I was sitting here listening to you deliver our bios, Kim, and I said, wait a minute, we are some really dope women. I am surrounded by some Dope Sisters. And I am so blessed to be in relationship with each and every one of you, including you, Kim. So, as stated, and as you can see, my name is Taisha Madam Butterfly Eason, and I am a leadership developer, wellness advocate, and I have been for many years. Sean Mack and Be His Child and I connected actually in church about 15, 16 years ago now. I was thinking about how long we've been in our sisterhood. And Sean Mack was the one that introduced us to the dynamic writing group of Diamond Writers, and she challenged us to put pen to paper of our journeys, and each of us knew that we had a story to tell, but we were resistant to it. And then when we chose to say yes, not only to ourselves, but to God and His direction, everything opened for us. My story is about weathering a storm and going through a journey and showing gratitude for the journey that I did not choose.
So powerful. Shel Matt, can you share with us, what does healing out loud mean to you personally?
For me, it's about honesty, being honest with yourself, calling a thing a thing. So often we ignore, guilty, what's plain as day. Like, we could see it in everyone else's life, but we cannot see it in our own. And so for me, it means calling a thing and examining why I feel that way towards that thing, right? So it requires vulnerability in addition to honesty, as well as transparency with oneself.
Absolutely. And can you talk a little bit more about your personal story and what inspired you to contribute to Audacity as well?
Sure. So I was afforded an opportunity to collaborate with some dynamic women through the Transparent Gem Inc. Under a writing group called Diamond Writers. I was introduced by one of my former youth. At one time, I was a youth mentor, and I'm all about supporting others. And so she was working on a project. She introduced me to it, and I got involved to support her, not recognizing that it was actually a pathway that was used to help me grow, to help me heal, to help me identify some unspoken trauma, and to be vulnerable and to actually walk through one of the many challenges that I have experienced in life. So one of them, just for clarity purposes, was grief, or I should say is grief. I was blessed to participate in 3 books with Transparent Gem Inc., led by Natima Sharif. And she offered this opportunity to us to collaborate and to share and to grow and to heal in life, so that we could be better mothers, so that we could be better leaders, so that we could be better individuals. And so that's how this all came about for me. So kudos to the Legacy Diamonds. I love you, ladies. Does that answer your question?
What a powerful testimony, and something that, yes. I was saying that was a powerful testimony, and there was something you said that stuck out when you were saying that you joined the organization to support your friend, but you kind of downplayed your own gifts in the process. And so I think that that's something that a lot of women tend to do and struggle with. And I think that that is something that we all have an opportunity to work on, to grow, and to be more comfortable putting ourselves out there and being in the forefront. Miss Bernadette, are you able to share with us? Oh, looks like she dropped off for us. Miss Taisha, do you want to share with us a little bit how your faith, purpose, or community support helped you through your healing journey?
Oh, my all three, yes. So my faith and understanding that it was none of me and all of him.
Mhm.
Without him, I would not be able to have gotten through this journey that I did not ask for. Without him, I would not have been able to put one foot in front of the other, or smile, or even be here today to talk about that journey and still heal out loud. I find purpose in being able to heal out loud and allowing people to see what it looks like. So often I've heard when people hear my journey, they say, "Girl, you don't look like what you've been through. Thank God you don't look like what you've been through." And I say, "Thank God I do," because the stuff that I've gone through, not many would be able to endure. However, what you see is his grace and his mercy. And without his grace and his mercy, I'd be a total hot mess up in the corner someplace. So when people say, "Thank God you don't look like what you've been through," I say, I absolutely have. I absolutely do look like what I've been through. And my community, my brothers and my sisters and my family, and oh my. The way the love has been poured on me, the honor and the respect that I received throughout my journey, and there are different parts of my journey. Part of my chapter in the book talks about my journey as my husband transitioned due to pancreatic cancer. So it talks about all of those things, the faith and the purpose and the community that showed up during that time. Without them, without those things, where would I be?
Well, first and foremost, we want to, again, on behalf of the Juneteenth NYC family, thank you so much for sharing your story and extend your condolences again on the passing of your husband.
Thank you.
Um, and continue to encourage you, as you imagine, or as I imagine you're still going through the healing and grieving process. But you having the strength and the power to share your journey um, is tremendous. So we definitely commend you for that. Um, Talking about faith and dealing with things, especially things we didn't ask for, can you share if there were any fears that you had to confront before telling your truth publicly?
Oh yeah. Because during that time it's so intimate. So you can only allow those people that you believe can handle it into your world, because not everybody that loves you can handle what it is that you're going through. And being able
Right.
to walk in forgiveness for those that can't handle it, those that you thought would be like right by your side, but bringing in the understanding that, wait a minute, they haven't experienced this part of me. So it may be just like what I'm going through is scary. This may be scary for them, and they may not know how to handle it, and being thankful for some people staying away until they felt it was safer to come around, because they could have caused more damage than they did good,
Right.
and being able to be aware of those things and of those factors. I learned so much about myself, about my husband, and about individuals, and how we all grieve and heal during this time. And if it if it were not for having the opportunity to put pen to paper and write down my thoughts, and work through what I was experiencing during that time, because we're on autopilot too.
Right,
I
right.
wanted to, like, as I was like coming down off of that, I needed to be able to, like, look back to what God brought me through and how God was able to hold me up and keep me uplifted with my tangible angels surrounding me.
Absolutely. Shell Mac, I want to ask you the same question. Were there any fears for you that you had to confront before sharing your story?
Absolutely. I had to think about, one fear was the reader, right? I'm sharing some intimate moments, some of which are journal entries. So these are my real thoughts on paper. And I am sharing this with any and everyone who is going to read this. Will they judge me? How will this be received? Do I want to be that transparent? So those are some really big things, or big thoughts, or big emotions, I would say, that I had to face when writing this chapter, being honest about whether or not I had anything else to say, right?
Right.
Um, did I leave it all on the paper? Um, so it was huge. It was huge. It was a lot. How will my family receive this was one. Um,
Mm.
because again, some of this, it's me, and what I'm sharing, it impacts them as well. So how will that be received? So those were some things that I did face, but to God be the glory. I was able to get it done in spite of the fear. I've always heard individuals say, do it afraid.
Mhm.
Um, so that was one of the things, that was one of the approaches used when contributing to this anthology.
Absolutely. So being vulnerable like that takes tremendous courage. Can you talk about the role that obedience to God plays in your personal growth? Either Miss Saisha or Shalmack can answer.
I think you
I'll go. Obedience to God is huge for me. I don't always get it right. Um, in this chapter, I was reminded, I should say, that delayed obedience is still disobedience,
Disobedience.
right?
Right.
So
Hmm.
not getting it done when he says do it is a problem. Um, it can be a problem. So yeah, obedience is key. It's key for me in this chapter. And it, even as I was preparing for today, it made me realize that I'm actually walking out what I wrote last
Mm,
year. I'm
powerful.
actually walking out what I wrote last year. So often I have been busy tending to everyone else, making sure that everyone else is good. And this year, the Lord has called me to focus on what's important, and that's home, which is my first ministry. The individuals who are going to miss me are the individuals that I live with, those
Right.
relationships that I'm seeking to build and strengthen, right? When my time comes to transition, they are going to feel it the hardest. There will be others, right? But they will still be able to move on eventually. But the impact that it will do or be to my husband, to my children, or even my granddaughter, my father, my sister, my nieces and nephews, um, those are the ones that I need to focus on in this season. So I'm truly thankful for the opportunity, because when I wrote this chapter, I was just like, I have nothing else to say. I said what I said, like, I'm done. I am done. And God was like, no, you're going to do this. Matter of fact, even when I submitted my final, I had to redo it because there was something that the Lord placed on my heart to add. And I was just like, if I don't do this, I'm being disobedient. I don't want no problems. I don't want to, I don't need any additional problems. I don't need any spankings. Okay, God.
Right.
And to God be the glory, I was able to resubmit with the language that he wanted me to add.
Wonderful. Miss Madam Butterfly, is there anything else you would like to share?
I'm still stuck on that delayed obedience part. Like, sis, come on with the bars. Yes, indeed. For me, the obedience came at a time where I thought I was being obedient to God for one reason. You know, when we are doing that thing, that critical C word, that control word, right? And thinking that we have it all together and we understand what's happening. And okay, I'm going to say yes to this so that I
Mhm.
get this. As long as I say yes to doing this, then God is going to bless me in this area. And I didn't realize that when I said yes to becoming a contributing author to this anthology, when I say yes to God to start writing my story, I didn't realize that that obedience to Him was my way of freeing myself of any guilt and or shame that could have come along during the journey that I was entering. We don't know what journey we're entering. We don't know what season we're entering, but God knows. And our
Right.
obedience, our yes to Him, my yes to Him, just opened up so much more for me. It helped me to draw nearer to Him. It helped me to see myself a lot clearer and see me for who I am in Him. So, yeah, that's what obedience did for me.
Powerful. So let's talk about your healing journey, because it's an ongoing thing. It's not something where you like flip a switch and you're like, okay, I'm healed. Can you talk about what, as you continue your healing journey, how do you do that while you're still helping others around you?
Um, for me, it's helping others is something that comes naturally. Being God's daughter, I can only I can only be who He created me to be, and that's a lover of people, a nurturer, someone who cares deeply for individuals and wants everyone to win. You know, so in my healing, being able to, a lot of times our pastor will say, our pastor, Dr. Tyrone Stevenson of Hope City Church in East New York, Brooklyn. Woo, woo, woo. We've heard our pastor say from the pulpit that a lot of times his preaching, his sermon is something that he is currently experiencing. It's not always something that he has overcome or maybe not directly experienced. A lot of times it's something that he's still working through for himself, you know, and for me, that's what healing comes through for me. And it's always been that way, where somebody will call me and call me for guidance or correction, accountability, whatever it is. And in that conversation, I'm like, child, I'm talking to myself. When I say you, I mean we, you know, and through that, it's helped my healing journey as well. And knowing that, also recognizing that I haven't stopped. I'm still going, I'm still alive, and there's still people here who need me to stand by their side and walk alongside them.
Got you. Ms. Bernadette, we want to include you in the conversation as well. We're glad you were able to work out the technical
Technical,
difficulties.
technical difficulties. The devil is a liar.
The
He's a
devil.
liar.
Yes, he is. He is. Speaking about liars, can you talk about some of the misconceptions that exist around faith and healing and what they are and which ones, in your opinion, need to be challenged?
First, I want to say that's funny because that's the question that I kind of like struggle with the most. And for me
Oh,
to be able to come on now, and that's the one question. So, all right, let's do it. So for me, the thing that I thought about was the struggle or the misconception is that there's no such thing as miracles, right?
mm,
Everything has to do like with science, what the doctors say, whatever, right? And so unless you are a person of faith and believe God's word in its entirely, a lot of people don't believe that God is still the same God of the scriptures. He's still healing the blind, he's still healing people with cancer, he's still like these things that people say there is no cure for. He's still healing. You're actually looking at some miracles right here. I'm a miracle, we're miracles. Um, and so I truly believe that God is still in the healing business. And while he is able to heal, we are not to be ignorant to doctor's instructions, right? If we go to the doctor, we got to go get checked out. That's still important. You still go and you don't say, I just believe God. I'm not going to go get my yearly physicals. I'm not going to. I think they kind of work hand in hand. And so some people usually you have some people that's like, I'm just faith. And you have some people that I'm just science. But I think that they work hand in hand. And I think that's the misconception, that they work hand in hand. God is still a miracle worker and he's still healing and can heal. At the same time, you want to still go get your physicals. You want to still go get checked out. You want to still change your lifestyles so that it can help, with how there's a lot of things that contribute to our faith and our healing. So the misconception is just that you sometimes you just need one thing. We just going to stay. Some people refuse blood or whatever things that can help them in the science, in the medical field, because that I'm just believing God. It's good to have faith and believe in God, but sometimes we need to go see the doctor and run some tests and see what the test is showing as well. So that's, I think, if I answer the question.
I agree with that. I definitely agree. My pastor said a lot of times you need the physician and the prayer. You need,
Yes.
Both of them together. And what if the miracle is the doctor? What if
Yes.
God was using that doctor to perform the miracle for you? So,
Exactly.
It's definitely interrelated.
Exactly.
Amen. Ms. Taisha, same question for you. Are there any misconceptions that come to mind for you that exist around faith and healing, and what misconceptions, in your opinion, need to be challenged?
Well, there are several misconceptions. Welcome back, Bernie. One that really stands out for me is that because you say that you're a person of faith and you're a follower of Christ Jesus, that things don't happen, that life doesn't happen, that those things that we call bad don't happen. And when they do happen, where's your God now? Your God wouldn't let you go through this. How could he be so good and then let you go through everything that you are going through? And it's not that he is letting us go through anything. This world was birthed on choice, and we all have a choice, right? And going back to the sciences and biology, there's certain things that happen in our lives that unfortunately can't be controlled. However, even in that, what is it that you're learning through that? My husband had cancer, and he transitioned due to the cancer. However, prior to that, he had several ailments and several incidents that could have taken him out in a split second. Um, several he had heart attacks. There were several instances where I could have, had an argument with my husband the night before and he not be with me the day after. However, even in the transition period that we had to endure, I still thank God because he didn't have to do it, but he did. And he allowed me the opportunity to say and be the wife that I needed to be for him during that time. So times like that, it's like God is undeniable. Miracle worker, way maker, promise keeper, light in the darkness.
Yes.
That's who he
All
is.
that. Yes.
That's who he is, undeniably.
Amen. Michelle Mack, is there anything you would like to add?
Yes. Sometimes we are put in situations not for us, but for the individuals that we're going to be interacting with, right? So, one instance for me may have been I was ill, and God healed me in a way that confounded the doctor. It might be to get their attention and to show them just how real he is, right? The other thing is that sometimes we go through the things that we go through to break our heart so that we're able to serve, so that we're able to relate to the individuals that we will come across later in life, so that our hearts can be pliable and I don't know how to say this, so that our hearts are able to hear what is not being said, right? Sometimes we come across individuals and they may not even understand the depth or how real it can get. The fact that you could be angry with God. How about that? But that's relationship. That's relationship, right? When you're in relationship with someone, not no fly by night stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. When you're in relationship with someone, you're able to dialogue. You're able to say, I am angry because of this. And they're able to come back and say, well, that's not your business, right? At least God can say that to me. I can't say for anybody else. Because I can recall plenty of conversations that I have had with God, and he told me that's not your business. That's my son when it came to my husband, or that is my daughter when it came to my daughter, right? So there's a dialogue there. You can be angry, but sin not. Don't you know what I'm saying? Don't go over the edge, but you can converse with God and say, I'm upset about this. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand why. And you can scream, you could yell, you could cry, you can feel all of the things. He understands because he knows you. Before you were in your mother's womb, he knew you. So he understands it, and he's concerned, and he cares. He cares so much that he knows every hair that is on our head, even when we, cut it off a little bit, just say it. He knows everything. Just why not just say what it is? I'm angry. I'm upset. I'm hurt. I didn't like it when you did this, right? That even comes in relationships too, right? Not just with God, but with our family, with our friends, being vulnerable. And that's part of what I was able to figure out as I was writing this chapter, that I wasn't saying the thing. I was expecting people to show up, but not telling them how to show up for me. And then getting mad because I didn't communicate it. That's mess.
Mm,
You understand? So those are the only things that I would add.
absolutely. I think all of us have been guilty of that at one time or another. To get back to the healing journey, and anyone can answer this question: how has healing changed the way you lead, serve, or show up for others? Did I do that one already?
No, you didn't.
How has healing changed the way you lead, serve, or show up for others? Does anyone? I think yes, Miss Taisha, you did answer that. Miss Bernadette or Miss Shell Max, either one of you want to answer that?
I'll jump in since I'm late to the party. Um, for me, it has shown up in all of those ways. It helps me. It helps me to be able to be humble and to help people in any walk of life. Right. My healing journey has helped me to be able. There's no one that can no low that you can't speak to them. You can't talk to them. No matter what they're going through. It has helped me to serve people who have I've come across people who are having um addiction episode, and it has helped me to be
Mm,
empathetic and help them, get them the help they need. Um I've been homeless. I've been like I'm that person. And so since I can identify with them because I was them, I'm still healing. By no means am I completely healed of everything in my life, but in some areas where I've been healing and have healed, or as I say, more like I'm delivered. God delivered me from these things. I don't consider myself to be a person who has this disease forever. That's what the medical field says. I don't have the disease of addiction. I have been delivered. And so it helps me to know that I'm not doing this by myself, and I can serve them. I can be there to help guide them. And there's nobody that, no matter how low people or society or the culture may say they are, whatever, I am able to go and speak with them and humble with them and meet people where they are and be an encouragement to them and a guidance to them to help them.
absolutely. Let's talk about transparency. How does that create freedom for both you as the person that's sharing your journey and for the people that are hearing and receiving it?
I'll share. So transparency gives you a freedom that you may not. It's difficult to understand. Like when you're transparent in a moment, it gives you a freedom and it allows those to whom you are transparent with to see a side of you that they can trust. Right? It opens up a door of trust. Um, in addition to that, just being transparent, it gives you a confidence because you know you said what you said, or in this case, shout out to my sis, Madam Butterfly, I wrote what I wrote, right? So it just gives a freedom. Like you don't have to second guess, like if you said the right thing, you were vulnerable in that moment and you just let it rock. So that's what transparency means for me, a freedom, if you will, that's undescribable.
That's
Okay.
good.
I
Any
I
of the
I I agree. I'll share. I agree. It gives the hearer freedom as well. Um, People may not want to share certain things or be a little bit afraid to share certain things and hold back. But when you are transparent, it gives them the freedom to be free. It gives them, because they see your vulnerability, and it allows them to open up about things that they've been through, things that they're going through. So it frees you up It frees the speaker up, it frees me up. But it also, and it takes away any sting, it takes away any sting that anybody can use, right? When you try to hide things and keep them secret and keep them in the corner, then people feel that they can use these things against you later, whatever. But when you transparent, it's like, I've already put it out there. What you gonna do? There's nothing you can do to me. You can't hold it over my head, or I'm gonna tell. No, it's already out there. And so it frees the speaker up, but it also frees the person that you're talking to up as well, because now they feel like I can share with you. I can be open with you about something that I'm going through, something that I've endured, or something that I need help with, as opposed to trying to just hide it themselves or have shame about it, right? When you don't be transparent and you walk in the shame of the things that you've done, then that also keeps other people in bondage to shame as well about things that they have endured or went through. Yeah.
And if I
That's
can
so
add to
true.
that freedom
Please.
also allows the possibility of accountability, because that when we are not transparent and we hold things to ourselves, it's almost like a protective layer that we put on ourselves, or we think it's a protective layer over ourselves. However, once we put it out there, I said what I said, I wrote what I wrote, and it is what it is, right? Then it also means that you heal, and you must heal. And how are you going to go about that? So for me, in all of that transparency and the freedom, and I said what I said, wrote what I wrote, it was holding myself accountable to continue the healing process. And it shows up in many ways. Being well doesn't have to just be a one-shot deal or one pathway. I heal in many ways. I heal through exercise. I heal through music. I heal through therapy and different types of therapy, whether it be, just a regular counseling session or a coaching session or a grief counseling session. And all of those can be similar, but definitely not the same. So holding myself accountable to that healing process is very important and an integral part to that transparency component as well.
Powerful. That's good. Okay, let's talk about courage again. So today, what does courage look like in your everyday life?
I'll talk about that. Short story. I participated in a leadership program, and one part of it was something that I had never thought I'd actually get the opportunity to do. I love, love, love the idea of going ziplining. I've seen it on TV. I wanted to zip line. I don't know why. I just wanted to do it. It was something that I wanted to do it. And I had the opportunity to do it. However, the journey that I had to go on to get to what I wanted or where I wanted to be was very shaky. And at one point I found myself and I'm like, what is going on? I was so nervous. But I knew that I wanted to go ziplining. And the Holy Spirit just poured into me. You're afraid because you don't think you have control. And a whole conversation. I'm suspended in air, and I'm like, and he's like, you've told yourself that you don't have control in this moment. And the only way you're going to get to where you want to go is by embracing the freedom that's right in front of you. No lie, whole conversation. Okay, God, you're in control, God, you're in control. You don't have to tell me what I am because I know who I am. Why don't you? And in that moment, I gained control of the parts that I needed to gain control of. I looked straight ahead and steadied myself towards that freedom that was right before me, and I made it to the other side so that I could get on that zip line, so that I could do what I wanted to do and be where I wanted to be. So for me, such that was such a brilliant experience in life, where it could have just been simply, girl, you got to go there so you can get on the zip line and go. It was so much more than that. It was so. So when I got on the zip line and I screamed as loud as I could, it was a cry of freedom. It was a holler of joy that I felt, because I was able to do something, and I was able to endure something and release myself. I let go and I let God.
Amazing.
That's good, Ty. That's good.
So good. So before we wrap up, there are two non-negotiable questions that we ask every guest that joins us for the Lunch and Learn. The first is, what does Juneteenth mean to you? So I will start with Miss Madam Butterfly, who is on the Juneteenth NYC board with me, and then we will work our way around the room.
It is such an honor and a privilege to have been on the board for so many years and to work with such wonderful people like Kim and Athenia, our CEO and founder, and our Juneteenth Advisory Board. It's really been such a blessing in my life, and God is all the way up in there, right? Juneteenth to me means resiliency, awareness, and freedom, and joy, and joy.
Yes. Love that. Michelle Mack, what does Juneteenth mean to you?
Juneteenth means to me strength, as well as a time of celebration. And I would agree with Taisha, awareness. Where I grew up, I did not learn about Juneteenth until I was in my adulthood. And so to learn and to choose to continue to learn and participate in Juneteenth celebrations in whatever capacity that is available to me has given me a sense of pride. The one where you stand up a little bit taller and you hold your head up higher than you would normally. So it's just like it's strength. Strength is a big part of it for me.
I love that. Ms. Bernadette Starkey.
Okay, so I'm the clown of the bunch. Let's just go there first for them. So June 19th happens to be my wedding anniversary. So this year be 22 years. So I've been celebrating June 19th for a while now. But Juneteenth was new to me as well. I wasn't good with history when I was in school. So I didn't understand the Civil War, what they was fighting for, or any of that. And so recently I had to research Juneteenth to talk about it at work and stuff, and to learn all that I did, why they was fighting, that they wanted to keep the slavery going in the South, and they didn't have the Union to go and to enforce it when it was signed, when the proclamation was signed. All of that was new for me. And so just thinking more about it as I continue to learn about it and have discussions about it. I was talking with my granddaughter who's in high school about it and just what it means to her, and just keeping the conversations going, right? It allows me to be like what Michelle was saying, to walk straight, to be proud, right? It's a proud feeling. It's strength. I think it's conversations that should be had in homes. somewhere I think the ball was dropped with generations, and a lot of the younger ones are not aware, and the older ones are certainly not. Like, there still should be conversations being had, and I think that we just should continue to celebrate it more and more, because there's some people that went through some horrific things for us to be free. And so it's all of those things to me. I'm continuing to learn about it. I'm continuing to study it and research it. And so for this year specifically, it will be a big deal for me. It hasn't up until this point, because I was still just trying to, I didn't know what Juneteenth was. Like, I knew it was another federal holiday. People got off of jobs and work, but I didn't realize the magnitude of what it was. And so now I will be celebrating it as big as I can. And because of the awareness and the strength that it brings, as they say. Yes.
That's wonderful. Last question. So, was it 2 years ago we celebrated the 50th anniversary of hip hop? Since we are dealing with women of God, I will expand it to also include maybe gospel hip hop. What is your favorite hip hop artist or gospel hip hop artist or song that fuels your resilience?
Ma'am, you can bring all of the hip hop. You don't gotta do the gospel situation
All the
over here.
things,
Okay?
opening it up. Let it be.
Before we were saved, okay, and even while we're saved, there are still some artists that we still rock with. So for me, I want to say that my favorite artist has been, there's so many. I want to say it's Lauryn Hill for me. Lauryn Hill is my favorite. And Heavy D. Heavy D and the Boys all day. Like, you can just put him on and then I am good. Good all day.
Love it. Love it. Madam Butterfly. Who you got?
Look, so that goes back to, we ain't been saved all our lives, right?
Right.
So it isn't, I don't know what category it would fall under, but the earliest memory of what I thought could be hip hop gospel for me was Ty Tribbett. And I still rock with Ty Tribbett because he's just so eclectic in so many ways. So I love his music. I love Corinne Hawthorne. I love her vibe. And then I'm an old schooly hip hopper. So I will say the one earliest or latest, God rest his soul, was Pop Smoke. I loved his music. It was, for me, is reminiscent of old school. And then there's a certain vibe that I love. So I'm a BDK fan all day long. Big Daddy Kane, if you don't know, you better know. Now you know. Busta Rhymes, the poet himself, DMX. I like those. Yeah, I like those more hardcore type raspy voices, but that are actually also moving in message as well. So yeah, that's where I am. And then for female hip hop artists, of course, the queen herself, Queen Latifah, UNITY, MC Light. Light as rock, those type things. And I love them also because of the fact that you got to see some of their transparency and some of their resiliency out loud as well. And to see where they came from to where they are today, just lighting up this world in so many different ways is absolutely astounding to me.
Absolutely. I love it. Miss Bernadette.
I'm sitting here laughing because I can't remember. I know I love Rapper's Delight. You can put Rapper's Delight on any day, any night, and I'm gonna put it hop it heavy. Now I'm not sure. I just downloaded. I was in the car with someone Shazamming, because they have all of these gospel rap artists, and as they come on, I'm Shazamming them. So I haven't had a chance to actually go through them to pick any out or know who the artist is. I've been listening to Jelly Roll a lot. He got these songs on there. I don't even know if he's not even a rap, but he's
amazing though.
He is. He got this song, I'm Pretty. Oh my gosh. It's like, so there's I'm trying to see, I don't know.
Oh, I have one more.
Who?
Robin.
Okay.
Antioch.
Robin Antioch. Yes. Robin's amazing.
Our own.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
How do you spell her last name? How do you spell her first and her last name?
ROBYNANTI. I think it's OCO.
I think it is.
She's amazing.
She is absolutely
all day.
Y'all get that LP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. We'll have to check her out.
And she is
she's on Instagram. Okay, we will definitely look her up. We got to check her out. So our time today is coming to a close. This was a phenomenal session. I want to thank each of you ladies on behalf of Juneteenth NYC. And for myself personally, it was a tremendous conversation. Thank you so much for pouring into us today, for sharing your wisdom and your warmth. You are a true example of what it means to thrive in purpose and in wellness. As we close today's Lunch and Learn, we are reminded that healing is not meant to stay hidden. Through courage, faith, and obedience, our contributors have shown us that when we speak our truth, chains break, not just for us, but for those connected to our lives. Healing out loud is an act of faith. It is an act of courage, and it is an act of love. Thank you to our contributors from Audacity for your transparency and obedience. Thank you to everyone who joined us and held space for this powerful conversation. May today remind you that your story matters, your healing is valid, and your voice has power. This has been the Audacity to Heal Out Loud, courage, calling, and change.
And Kim, can I just say, if they're interested, they can DM me to get books at His Child 7 Forever. I do have books. Okay. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for the opportunity.
From the roots of tradition to the rise of reconnection, where history meets the heart of Africa. Celebrate freedom, culture, and homecoming. This isn't just a trip, it's a return. The motherland is calling. Will you answer?